Hey there, welcome to the Uplift. I'm Tony DeCopa. We got a great show for you, great cast of characters as well. Among them, these. A dog that walks on its hind legs, not just a trick to impress humans. So why bother then? A woman who decks out her house each October, not for Halloween though. Also a man who traveled more than 200,000 miles on foot to fill his autograph book. This is a story from behind the prized possession coming up. Plus, David Begnaud revisits a house built for a man who never had a place of his own and meets the people who are helping him make it a home. All that and much, much more. You know what you're watching, The Uplift. Hey there, welcome to The Uplift. This is the show that lifts you up for at least the next 30 minutes, you and me as well. And we're gonna begin here. A dog that walks on its hind legs, not as a trick, but as an adaptation, you might say. Here's Steve Hartman with a lesson in adaptability.
Good morning. Say hello to Meryl.
Hello, and welcome to our lesson on adaptability.
And we begin, as always, with Emmett at the dictionary desk. Emmett?
Adaptability is the ability to change, to be faced with a problem and then do something different so that the problem isn't so much a problem anymore.
Exactly. For example, Emmett is used to sitting behind the dictionary desk. But what if his chair broke? He would have to stand. We would have to adjust the camera shot, maybe move some lights. We would have to adapt and keep a positive attitude.
Like, go with the flow.
Right. Point is, things rarely go as planned. And that's okay. As you'll see in this example, pulled from our archive, filed under adaptability.
A lot of dogs think they're human, but Dexter takes it to a whole nother level, to the point where I can now safely say, I have seen everything. Dexter lives here in Ouray, Colorado, where this bicolor, bipedal Brittany Spaniel turns heads wherever he goes. Dexter's owner, Kenty Pasick, says this isn't a trick she taught. It's an adaptation he made after a near-death experience.
Hey, come on.
When Dexter was a puppy, he escaped his yard, darted into traffic, and got hit by a car. He lost one front leg and the other was badly damaged. So everyone assumed, to get around, he would need some kind of adaptive equipment.
And he did use a wheelchair for a while, until one day when Kenty set the pooch at the foot of her porch without the wheelchair.
And I ran in to go get my cup of coffee, came out, and he was right here where he is right now. And I was like, how is this going on?
How did you figure it out?
I put him back down there and I grabbed my phone to see what was going on.
Here is the video she recorded.
And I was like, oh, we're into something totally different.
You never know where life's gonna take you.
You never know.
In the years since, Dexter has become a full-blown celebrity, starring in parades and building a legion of social media followers who now come here from across the country just hoping for a glimpse of Ouray's most upstanding citizen.
Follow him on Instagram. Oh, good!
The whole thing takes absurdity to new heights, but to many, Dexter is no joke. In this pile of mail he receives monthly
Comes in droves.
are hundreds of letters of heartfelt gratitude.
I'm recovering from intensive radiation treatments for breast cancer, and you certainly bring joy to my day.
Where humans see obstacles,
Just
often dogs beg to differ.
Dexter shows us, why aren't you out there doing the things you want to do? Because he has.
Off he goes.
And in doing so has proven that sometimes getting knocked down is the only way to see how tall you stand.
Kenty Pasick joins us now. Welcome.
Thank you.
What's new with Dexter since my dad's visit?
We have flown all over the United States. We have done huge festivals and touring and meet and greets. We have a book coming out next fall.
Has managing Dexter become a full-time job for you?
It's been almost a full-time job here lately.
But it's got to be a fun job.
It's so much fun.
There are people watching right now who are dealing with problems that seem insurmountable.
Right.
If Dexter could talk, what do you think he would tell them?
I really think he would say that no problem is actually insurmountable. It's how we view the problem.
Beautiful. Well, thanks so much for giving us your time and for sharing Dexter with us.
Thank you.
You know, sometimes the best thing that can happen to you in life is for a worse thing to happen. Because every setback comes with an opportunity to adapt, to reinvent yourself as stronger, smarter, and more resilient than before. Call it Dexter's dogma. We'll see you next time.
Until then, stay kind.
Coming up, what's the story behind this pink house? There it is. We'll take you to this home outside of Dallas that's become iconic in those parts to find out why it's so decked out. Plus, we take a little visit to a cafe that serves hundreds of meals a week, all for free. Stay tuned. You're watching The Uplift. We're going to take you now to a house that is always decorated in October, but not for Halloween. It's for another October occasion. Here's Nicole Nielsen from CBS Texas at the Pink House.
When you pull up to Angela Fincher's home on Buck Street in North Richland Hills, you'll know her message right away.
Cancer stinks.
It was back in February 2021 when she was first diagnosed with breast cancer. She considers herself one of the lucky ones when she beat it less than a year later.
One day I was thinking, it'd be really cool to do something in October. I mean, like that's my month now.
That's when she started the Pinked Out House. How does it work? Just show up any day throughout the month of October. Dedicated to all things pink, with games and photo ops, the home is meant to be a place where people can gather to meet and reflect on how breast cancer has affected their lives.
Someone came by with their grandkids and the grandmother goes, "Hey, sweetheart, do you remember me talking to you about the word cancer?" She was like, "Well, this lady had cancer and she's done all this to celebrate, the fact that she's a survivor and that God healed her." And so anyway, it was just like that. That's exactly what I was hoping that this house would bring, was that open those conversations, and also just a reminder, like I had my appointment. I just made my appointment today for my mammogram, for my yearly mammogram.
So far, the reaction has been great.
People love it. I mean, from young to old.
She encourages you to show up, be bold, and enjoy it.
I just want them to feel completely comfortable just walking onto the yard. Don't be scared. Don't be intimidated. Just come up here, play all the fun games.
And know that when you visit the Pinked Out House, you're not alone.
And just also, too, there's something, too, when you come in the evening, it is so peaceful and so quiet here. And so it's just also that time to reflect.
In North Richland Hills, Nicole Nielsen, CBS News, Texas.
There's a little cafe in Los Angeles that serves hundreds of meals every single week and never charges a single cent for it. And that is not all it does for the community. Here's Jasmine Veal.
For your coffee.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want marshmallows?
Wayne Dean is sitting down for breakfast inside the Bread and Roses Cafe in Venice.
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
He just ordered hot chocolate to go along with his pot roast.
I mean, it's a treat. You come in here, you got a hot cup of coffee, and it's refillable every time. They're coming back. You need more? You need more?
This will most likely be his only meal of the day.
They're doing the work that needs to be done. They're feeding us.
This cafe serves more than 600 free hot and nutritious meals per week to the homeless in a restaurant-style setting.
They got roses on the table.
Somewhere you can go and have some respect.
The cafe, run by the St. Joseph Center, just celebrated its 35th anniversary. These meals can lead people to other services like job training.
It's helpful to have a couple of containers.
Like it did for Chef Sarah Harvey, who was once homeless. She came to eat at the cafe years ago when she decided to apply for the culinary training program.
First arrived in Los Angeles, I was living in my car.
She was eventually hired full-time to teach the incoming culinary students.
I get to give back.
A study by the RAND Corporation found that the number of unhoused people without any form of shelter more than doubled last year in Venice to 46%, up from 20% the year prior.
Lately, there's been an uptick of people.
The center's executive chef, James Cunningham, says they've seen a surge in people coming in to eat.
So this is already the fourth wave of people coming into this cafe to eat, and it's before noon. Typically, they feed about 120 to 140 people a day here. Recently, that number has jumped to as high as 190.
Oh, it's delicious.
But no one gets turned away at this cafe, where for decades now, so many have come to depend on this meal and the connection
Have a good day.
it provides. In Venice, Jasmine Beal, KCAL News.
Get a look at one of the world's biggest collections of autographs, more than 50,000 John Hancocks. Want to know who has signed that collection? A lot of names. You're going to find out some of them after the break. Back in the day when you were young, you're not a kid anymore, you wouldn't ask a celebrity for selfies, you'd ask for autographs. Joseph F. McCulloch might have been the GOAT of the autograph getters. He collected 50,000 of them. Here's Barry Peterson with his story.
Eventual buyer for this will be
Everything about this book is big. It weighs about 60 pounds. Its history spans the world. Its sheer number of autographs is unprecedented. Woodrow Wilson, kind reception at the White House.
Yep. Kind reception at Buckingham Palace, London.
Has somebody added up the number of signatures?
Well, he notes 50,000. I suspect at this point, I suspect that was earlier, that now there's more than 50,000.
Nathan Rabb of the Rabb Collection in Philadelphia, who is selling the book, would know.
That is maybe the largest, probably the most famous autograph album ever assembled. This is a letter from Thomas Jefferson.
Rabb specializes in selling signatures from Einstein to Hemingway, from George Washington to Napoleon. But you didn't have to be that famous to make it into this book. You only had to be within signing distance when Joseph F. McCulloch just popped in.
He would go into the local shop and ask the shopkeeper for the autograph. He'd go into the local business, ask the CEO and the mailman.
As seen in these brief, silent movies from the early 1900s, McCulloch walked the world, logging 200,000 miles on foot. Newspapers wrote about the man who thought everyone from pauper to prince worthy of being asked for an autograph. He even walked into the White House and walked out with an A-list of presidential signatures.
Taft, Coolidge, Theodore Roosevelt, Harding, Wilson.
Visiting 43 countries.
This is Arabic.
Here's Japanese.
And meeting leaders from China, Japan, India, and Great Britain.
So here he is in London. He's gone to 10 Downing Street, where he's met with Prime Minister Lloyd George and his ministers. He obviously was not shy. I think that's,
you think?
That's a fair, you can make that supposition.
Yep.
The man was not scared to ask to come into your home.
The album can be yours for $275,000. But think of it, history captured, one signature at a time. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Do you have a favorite dish from childhood that you can bring it right back to your family's kitchen table? Well, that is what a new experimental program is trying to unlock for all of us. Ite Had explores and explains in Meal Memories.
Most dinner parties are about creating fun memories.
You always like to wear your scarf?
Yes. But for 87-year-old Arthur Shostak, tonight is about retrieving them.
Okay.
Once a professor, Arthur's words don't come as easily as they used to. His son Mark says his memories are slipping away.
He is asking within a short period of time about things that we had just discussed.
This evening, Arthur is getting ready for a special meal designed to stir up his senses. For 2 weeks, he's been working on recreating one of his favorite dishes from his childhood. His mother's recipe for a Jewish potato pancake called a latke.
You have to grate the potatoes, you have to grate the onions, you have to get used to the tears.
It's those kinds of memories that Jake Broder, a fellow at UCSF's Global Brain Health Institute, is trying to unlock.
We work with people every day and do interviews and test kitchen until they go, there's a moment of just, this is what it tasted like, and the stories flow.
Studies have already shown that music can unlock memories from the past. Dr. Adrian Green, the CEO of the San Francisco campus for Jewish Living, is betting the same can happen with food.
They're just coming to life in ways that we don't see every day.
During a dinner party, residents share their dishes with a group and read a story they wrote with the help from specialists.
I would sit across the table from her and ask her a very important question. Sour cream or applesauce.
For his son, Mark, it's a rare moment of hope,
That was wonderful to hear.
making this a night to remember.
Very good. Very good.
Coming up, David Begnaud returns to the tiny house built for a man in need and meets the people who are helping him make it a home. A while back, David Begnaud showed us a new home built by a group of architecture students. It wasn't for sale. They created it for a man who never had a place of his own. And David recently went back to visit the house and visit the man who now calls it home.
Hello.
Mr. Dave. How you doing? I'm Mr. Coffee.
Yes, coffee pot. For a man who has never had a place to truly call his own, even the simplest comforts feel like a luxury.
It's got a shelf kind of thing in it.
I am not picky.
When I went back to visit Benjamin Henry, it was such a joy to see him moving into his new home.
What do you like the most?
That's hard to say. I like the whole house. The main thing is I don't ever have to move again.
We first met the 63-year-old back in May, when he was ready to bid farewell to the New Orleans streets, where he has lived for more than a decade.
It's gonna be a new chapter in my life.
Is it the best chapter?
Yes, I think it is. And I'm having my breakthrough right now. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm having my breakthrough right now.
This tiny home is overflowing with heart. 4 months, these dedicated Tulane University architecture students designed, built, and transformed this vacant plot of land.
What is it about your design that you were passionate about?
I was really passionate about the porch. It's really important in New Orleans to spend time on your porch, to spend time in the community with your neighbors.
We were there when they met Mr. Henry for the first time.
How y'all doing? You the guys who did this?
Yes.
Thank y'all very much.
And proudly showcased their work.
Washer, dryer over here.
Oh, wash and dry, main thing.
Building someone's forever home is crazy. And yeah, so rewarding.
So rewarding that Lou Ann White and Jervis Reed, life partners and business partners, have made it their life's mission to help others.
I believe anybody who wants a house should have a house.
Their nonprofit, Louvis Services, is collaborating with Tulane to buy, furnish, and maintain this property for Mr. Henry.
A lot of people said, who helps him pay the taxes on the property and who helps him make sure he can pay the electricity bill and the water bill? What's the answer?
We're a nonprofit, so we don't pay taxes on the property. We pay the utilities, and then the HUD program pays his rent through their Section 8 program.
Gotcha.
Until he has income, and then he pays a portion of his income.
Not only does this home provide Mr. Henry with a safe space, it also opens doors for him to give back.
We talked about the possibility of food pantries. We talked about him getting involved in the edible landscape program and, working with the garden out here.
Hey, if I do certain things like volunteer, I'm gonna give you award for it.
And as for those students who made this home happen, they even used their own money to help furnish the home. I asked Mr. Henry if he wanted to say anything to the students.
Thank you is not enough, I mean, I just want them to know that all the efforts they work, it won't be in vain. That they would know, that they won't regret that they had given it to this certain person, Restaurant style, please.
What deeply moved them was just seeing Mr. Henry enjoying the space. When he first walked in, he first wanted to pray. And then he couldn't wait to test his new bed.
How you feeling? Oh, I feel great.
And then he savored those peaceful moments just sitting out on that porch, which was the heart of the student's design.
This is the best video I've seen.
I don't have words. It just is so amazing. I'm so grateful we got to meet him.
I'm proud of him for making his turnaround, and I'm so happy that he's able to live in the house.
So what's next for Mr. Henry? He would like to get a job and join a church. And coincidentally, there is one just right across the street from him. A reminder for him that faith has led him to exactly where he needs to be.
This is your key.
Mr. Begno, batting cleanup. That is our show. I hope it brightened your day. I hope it lifted you up. If for some reason it didn't, reruns are free. Press play again. I'm going to find some good news.